On that note, let me ask you if you all would begin and just tell us what you think is important for us to keep in mind as we go about the conversation today.
The following are brief excerpts from the parties' opening statements.
Well, I'd like to give just a short history of what this case is about, and then give you my reading of the law and why this is, in my view, one of the strongest cases that I have ever had the honor of working on. Mr. Thibodeau is a salesman. He's worked for 15 years for the Kane Restaurant Supply Company. Since 1987, he's been a commissioned salesman, and quite a successful one. He helped build up the company. When he began with the company, it was quite small, just under a dozen employees. It was a family concern, and he was treated like a member of the family, and they all worked together, came up with ideas how the company should develop and so on. He was an integral part of the growth of the company, which is now 5 times the size as it was when he started. He did good work. Everything was going along fine. And then, just short of his 65th birthday, the owner's son, who had taken over, Mr. Kane here, who had taken over from his father, who was still working but was withdrawing somewhat, turning it over to the next generation. Mr. Kane said to Pat, well, we have a mandatory retirement policy here. You're coming up to your 65th birthday, so let's start phasing you out, and in the next 6 months we'll turn over your accounts to other salespeople. And Mr. Kane, being a layperson, not being a lawyer, and not being sophisticated about labor law, accepted that. He went back in, talked to Mr. Kane, and said, I don't want to retire, and I understand you can't make me retire. Well, Mr. Kane consulted with his lawyers and learned that indeed that was true.
Let me just ask you, Mr. Thibodeau, do you have anything you want to add at this point, or have us keep in mind as we go about our conversation today?
Well, no, but not to add, I thought that was an excellent exposition of the problem, but I think the two things, money and emotions, and self-respect, were all taken away from him. All 3 things. And I would like somehow or other to get all of them back.